Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Monday Night News. That's right, folks. Not only do we have rants, reviews, live shows on this page, but it's time to get serious about wrestling news, ladies and gentlemen. Monday Night News coming every single Monday night, and other wrestling news programs coming later in the week there, possibly, folks. People message me all the time. They tell me, give us political videos. We want videos about religion there. Well, listen here there. This is videos for wrestling fans, made by wrestling fans, and by God, we're going to talk about wrestling here, and we're going to cover the news, ladies and gentlemen. So Chris Jericho, folks, took a cheap shot at the Zombies last night at WrestleMania Backlash or whatever, because Jericho recently took a fall on an obvious mattress and cardboard at their shitty fucking blood and guts show or whatever. And according to Dave Meltzer, a source, heard that somebody in upper management in WWE or somebody said that apparently AEW set the business back 30 years. So there's a rumor that someone somewhere in WWE said this. Do we know who actually said this? No. Is it probable that nobody even said anything? Probably, folks. All right, but of course, you know, the indie fans, they're blaming McMahon. You know, McMahon said this, WWE said that. No, Dave Meltzer said this, that apparently somebody said something or whatever. Probably bullshit. So you have the shitty ending at Blood and Guts. What do these political fucks do? They invent some kind of rumor. Oh, someone over in WWE said something negative about the match. Oh, yeah, well, fuck you, Vince. Fuck you. Just to try to get the heat off of AEW for their shitty performance or whatever. You know, so what Jericho says is, oh, Zombies, this just set the business back 30 years or whatever. And the AEW fans, they're running hard with this on Twitter. Basically, it's shit like, oh, how dare you talk about Blood and Guts when McMahon just had Zombies? I mean, you can't criticize Blood and Guts because of Zombies. I mean, so here's the deal here, retards there. Both the zombie thing and the Blood and Guts ending and the obvious blade jobs and the botches, both of these things are bad. I would argue that Blood and Guts was actually worse because it's the big ending to the pay-per-view and it looked like a disaster. It was completely embarrassing with the cardboard shit like this. At least WWE did their shit on purpose, and it was just like a mid-card throwaway match, you know? I would argue that in the grand scheme of things, AEW's blunder was worse, you know what I mean? But just because WWE comes out with Zombies, this doesn't justify the shitty performance at Blood and Guts one thing doesn't cancel out the other. You know what I mean? That's not how logic works there, and Jericho is just being a petty fuck, you know what I mean? He had an embarrassing match, an embarrassing moment, and he's trying to turn the tables on WWE or whatever. This whole company's a fucking joke, folks, including its wrestlers or whatever. And Batista fans were pissed off because apparently this zombie shit had to do with Batista. Apparently Batista has a movie or something about zombies. And apparently this shit had to do with, you know, and I'm not defending this zombie stuff. I ranted about it last night. I asked myself, the fuck is this? It's not Halloween. The fuck is this retarded garbage or whatever? Apparently it was a Batista thing or whatever. And fans were pissed off there emailing Batista. Batista writes on Twitter, "What the fuck you telling me? You think I booked a bunch of fucking zombies? I'm on a damn plane. Shouldn't you be tweeting Vince?" So basically, like AEW fans, because they want to compensate for blood and guts, they're like the zombie thing was cheap. Fucking cheap, but they're taking this and making it look like fucking, you know, like McMahon was on there clubbing baby seals on the show. You know what I'm saying? They're taking the zombie thing because they want to overcompensate for their shitty garbage wrestling. And they're taking it the extra mile, harassing Batista to the point that he's on the plane and he's in Hollywood doing movies and stuff. He's being harassed to the point that he's fucking raging on the plane because of this shit or whatever. It goes to show you how far the indie fans take things, ladies and gentlemen. They go to the extreme there. Tony Khan, folks. Apparently there's a few Tony Khan stories out there. Tony Khan says that wrestling is hotter than ever, whatever. Apparently Tony Khan must be smoking crack or something, folks. It must be fun living in Tony's delusional world or whatever. Because recently all shows were ranked number one. Raw, SmackDown, and AEW. AEW had the least amount of viewers there, but they were each number one, and because of this, Tony says wrestling is hotter than ever. First of all, that's a retarded statement, you know. Yes, his show was number one, but it was only 1 million viewers. That ain't fuck all compared to the past, you know what I mean? Back in the day, wrestling was hot for real there. It wasn't indie fans pretending. Oh, Orange Cassidy's over. Cody Rhodes is a real star. This is make-believe. This is wrestling fans like playing fucking make-believe with the wrestling there. Back in the day, it was hot for real. You know what I mean? And it's this sort of weirdo, delusional garbage that's making the AEW fans even worse or whatever. So now these goofs are going to go around on Twitter. Wrestling is as hot as it's ever been. It's great. But, like, really nobody's watching. You have WWE, the lowest that it's ever been. You have a new TNA that's, you know, a fucking joke and a half. This AEW there. The rest is 5-6 jobber indie companies on YouTube or shitty things like this, Ring of Honor, and this ain't fucking hot. The fuck's hot about this? It's the fucking biggest virgin fucking fest ever now, wrestling. A bunch of fucking nerds and pure mongoloid retards. How is this shit hot? For the love of fuck, it's atrocious. NXT 700,000 views or something. That's on a good night, for fuck's sake. Wrestling is the lowest it's ever been, not the hottest. This guy's fucking delusional. And Tony says if you deliver a quality, compelling product consistently, people are going to show up and watch it. Well, Tony doesn't deliver a quality, compelling product, especially not consistently, folks, because this product is trash, and that's why nobody shows up to watch it or whatever. Number one time or whatever, 1 million viewers. They're struggling to get 1 million. Even TNA had 2 million at one point. You know what I mean? This company's a fucking joke. And EC3, there was an article of EC3 there, an interview with Wrestling Inc. or something, about the downfall of, like, you know, why he failed basically in WWE there. And he was kind of blaming McMahon. Oh, the guy that's in charge didn't like me for some reason. And then it's like, later on, he's like, oh, maybe I sucked. I don't know. I was my own worst enemy. Maybe these wrestlers need to take responsibility for once. Like EC3 is doing here. He's doing the little anti-McMahon bullshit. The big victim bullshit. McMahon didn't like me for whatever reason. Maybe it's because I sucked, you know? And maybe it's because you do suck or whatever. This guy, you know what I mean? In TNA, the fans, they tried to make him sound like he was a star. The guy was super fucking corny, super goofy and corny, and he was very cheap in the ring. A terrible wrestler. Why does it have to be McMahon's fault, you know? Oh, they put him in the 24/7 group running around. That's good enough for a guy like this, you know what I mean? Ethan Carter III, wrestling rock star spud in front of 50 people. Why did he deserve to be a big fucking star or whatever? The dude sucked. And here he's saying it, maybe I sucked, yes. And it's about time these wrestlers take responsibility for their actions. There's a difference between real wrestlers with talent like we had in the past and fucking jobber goofs like this. They're going online crying for the support of indie fans or whatever. Get the fuck out. Man up, you fucking goofy bitches. I'm tired of these scum indie wrestlers crying like fucking goofs every fucking day on the internet about McMahon. McMahon treated me so bad. Shut the fuck up there. None of these guys would have fucking been good enough for the past. You know what I mean? None of them, fuck. Ring of Honor has announced that they're bringing back live crowds, ladies and gentlemen. So you're going to get an extra 5 people watching the show or whatever. Ring of Honor there, Lance. We're coming back. The greatest wrestling on the planet. Greatest wrestling on the planet coming back. They're live, folks. You're going to get an extra 4 or 5 people in the crowd there. You had Rey Mysterio. They were talking about this on every website there. Rey Mysterio thanking the fans for all the love and support or whatever. He says he was blessed. His career started in 1989 and he's been blessed ever since. And he's like proud that he won the belt with his son or whatever. Made me feel good reading this, folks. Rey Mysterio comes off looking like a good man or whatever. He's a good man, ladies and gentlemen, with his son, stuff like this. It's good to see a family man in wrestling. Not some crybaby bitch-ass loser like EC3 crying online that McMahon hurt him there. The Young Bucks crying their whole fucking career to suck up to the indie fans. It's good to see a real wrestler like Rey Mysterio being humble, being a gentleman there, and thanking the fans for their support. A guy with real talent. You notice the difference between a real star and these fucking jack-offs in AEW, the difference of class or whatever. The difference of intelligence there. And speaking of intelligence or whatever, Cody Rhodes, ladies and gentlemen, he did his shitty promo last week on Dynamite there, that weird-ass SJW anti-British. It's weird, it's SJW, yet he's bashing the British. And it's like a political promo. It was all fucked up and weird or whatever there. So some people were criticizing the promo, and I guess it hurt his feelings there. So somebody was saying the promo was bad. He replies, and some say it's the absolute best in modern history. I don't even consider it a promo because it was real. As always with me. And some say it's the best in modern history. Who the fuck would say this? Who in the name of God would say that Cody's garbage, retarded promo from last week is the best in modern history? What's modern history there? Is like CM Punk promo considered modern history, for example, there? Like, the fuck? This guy's a fucking clown and a fucking half. Get the fuck out of here. That promo was trash. Who the fuck would say that there? Who in their right mind who isn't completely fucking mentally challenged? Who would say this? That it's the best promo in modern history? Who the fuck would say it is besides him with his fucking ego there? Fucking embarrassing. I don't even consider it a promo. Yeah, neither do I there, because it was like a shitty hack political speech or whatever. It was real. As always with me, coming from the biggest fake in the wrestling industry, folks. The biggest fake, phony carny out there, folks. Cody Rhodes, ladies and gentlemen. Big phony baloney there. And a few days ago, it's the last story there, ladies and gentlemen. A few days ago, Wade Keller was talking about the EVPs in AEW. One day, somebody's going to write a book about all the dysfunction and the arguing between EVPs, shit like this. So Dave Meltzer released some kind of statement of some sort about this there. Oh, they're fine. They're not really... And then it's a thing, the Young Bucks and Kenny are friends. Oh, Cody, he's more like a business partner. They have difference of ideas, but it's all up to Tony in the end. Like, they have different ideas. It's... You know, like, oh, the ideas are different, but, it might not always work like this, but it's Tony who's in charge and this and that. They're basically, Wade Keller says there's problems. Meltzer comes out, oh, there's no problem. But there's a difference of opinion. It kind of sounds like Kenny and the Young Bucks are arguing a bit with Cody. Cody wants to present the show a certain way. Young Bucks and Kenny want to present it another way, but it's Tony who's in charge. It's a real fucking fuckfest, this clown show, ladies and gentlemen. You got Cody Rhodes who wants to present himself as a star. He wants to present his boring wife on TV. You know, his goofy tattoos, his goofy students, and his training school. You got Kenny Omega and his weird friends, his weird Japanese stuff, the bad stuff with the women. You got the Young Bucks with a whole bunch of tag teams. 300 tag teams just so they can look like stars there. And Tony Khan, who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing or whatever. And you got Jericho ripping off WWE. Apparently that's Jericho's big creative, is ripping off other people or whatever. A big joke, ladies and gentlemen. So it kind of sounds with this Wade Keller Meltzer that there's some dissension there between Team Cody and Team Kenny, possibly. Who knows there, but you can see that it's dysfunctional just by watching the program. You know what I mean? The whole thing is just very boring and dysfunctional or whatever. So that's about it, ladies and gentlemen, for Monday Night News. You're going to get some more news shows later in the week right here on Wrestling Juggernauts, along with rants, reviews, live shows, and all kind of shit, lads. Can have a good time. Subscribe today, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe. Until next time, peace.